All right, guys, welcome back to this tutorial. In the last tutorial, we pretty much set up our API gateway to accept any type of HTTP method, and pretty much it just forwards whatever is sent to it to whichever API exists that has that name. So from here, we want to go ahead and create a way to automatically register our API gateway when it is not our API, to register our APIs with the gateway when they are started up. So our first step to getting to that point is to add a register method in this index.js file that will allow the APIs to call and register themselves. So in order to do this, we're going to go down here and just create a new endpoint. We're going to get the router and we're going to call a post method. And then in here, we're going to take a path of register. And then from there, we're going to take in a request and a response in this callback. And then we're going to handle this register endpoint request. So we need to get the information, the configuration information from the user. So when they're calling this register, they're going to send the configuration information. This information in this registry, so it's going to be the same as this. So it's just going to pass in that's the body of the post request. So here, we're going to need to get that information. The way we're going to do this is by getting it out of the request body. So we're going to call this registration info. Registration info. There we go. And then we're going to get it from the request body. And then from here, we need to add it to our registration. Actually, our registry. We need to add it to this object in memory first. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to say registry dot services, and then we're going to get the API name from this registration info, and then we're going to set it equal to registration info. All right. So this registration, it is registration info basically just takes all of the different keys that are here. So API name, host, port, URL, and it will just put them into a object for us. So we don't have to specify, hey, API name equals registration info dot API name, and then for each one dot host dot whatever. So this pretty much just destructures it for us and puts it into an object. And then what we're doing here is we're taking this services object here and we're adding the new registration API name. So if this registration API name is something that already exists, it will just overwrite it. So that way we know we only have one key that, not this here. We only have one key in this services object. So that is how we will handle that. And now we just have to write this new registry to this registry.json file down here. So in order to do this, we need to utilize a new module, which is the FS module. So we're going to say require FS. All right. So now we have the file system module that we can use to write the file. All right, so we're going to call fs.writeFile. All right, once we get here, it's going to take a path. So we're going to say ./routes/registry.json. All right, so this / is actually referencing the top of the folder, the root of the folder. It's not actually this dot where this index.js is. So we still have to do the routes and then get the registry.json. Otherwise, you will be writing it directly into the root directory, which is, at this moment, we don't want to do that. All right, so we have the routes registry.json. So this is the file we will be writing. And if the file already exists, it's just going to overwrite it. So now we need to put the content. The content is going to be this new registry object that we just updated. But we can't just pass the registry object in. We have to pass it in as a string because that's what this file write file method takes. So this function takes in a string that it's going to write to the file. So we need to do json.stringify, and then we can pass in our registry. All right, so that object will be turned into a string and written to the file. The last parameter that is taken is the callback. So it's going to have an error as a parameter, and this error is letting us know if there was an error when it was trying to write. So we will handle this by saying if error, then we want to tell the user that the new API was not registered. So we're going to say res.send, and we're going to say could not register, and then we're going to put the API name. So it's going to be registration info dot API name. Then we're going to add that in a new line, and then we're going to push the error on there. All right, so now we're going to see this error being returned if there is an error. Otherwise, we want to return that it was successful. So we're going to say successfully registered and then we're going to pass in the registration info API name. And then let's go ahead and add that. All right. So now with this function here, now we have a new endpoint, and this endpoint will allow us to register our new APIs. So all you have to do is make your API when it first starts up call this register this register endpoint, and it will register your API. You also have to pass in this configuration information, so API name, host, port, and URL. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and try to test this out. Hopefully everything went fine and it will work. So I'm going to be using curl as I've always been using. So let's just go ahead and get it started. We're going to curl, and then we're going to make a post request. Then we have to pass in the data, which is going to be the body, which is basically just that information. So I already have it copied here. So we're just going to do API name is going to be registry test. The host is going to be the same as the fake API. I didn't change any of that. I just changed the name. All right. So once we have this, we can go ahead and pass in a header, which is basically just the content type telling that this is JSON format that we're using. All right, and from here we can just go ahead and pass in the URL, which is going to be localhost port 3000/register. All right, and there we go. Boom. It says successfully registered registry test. So now if we open this file, we can see it reformatted. All right, so there we go. So now we can see that it added this registry test, and it has the same information as the that test API. But now we should be able to actually make calls to our registry test API. So let's try that. HTTP Oh, I need a curl. Curl http://localhost port 3000 /registry test /fake API. And boom, there we go. Hello from fake API server. So now our API gateway is able to register these APIs as they come in. In the next tutorial, we'll go ahead and make this fake API register itself with our API gateway whenever it starts up, so that we don't have to worry about it. And remember, even if you send this information more than once, if it already exists, it's just going to stay the same because it's key based. So you don't have to worry about messing anything up. If you change your configuration and restart, it will update the configuration on the API gateway. So we will handle that in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel and all that jazz, and I will see you guys in the next one.